The voicemail was only 7 seconds long, her voice soft, breathless. Code rotation is still the same. South entrance first, then a click. I listened to it 3 times before my hands started shaking. Not from fear, from recognition. 2 months earlier, a man had followed me into the courthouse parking garage. Mask, gloves. Efficient. He knew exactly when the cameras cycled blind. He knew which elevator stalled between floors. He knew too much. I survived because he underestimated how stubborn a body can be when it refuses to die. A cracked skull, a damaged nerve, a stutter that wrapped around my tongue like barbed wire. For 2 years, I couldn't finish a sentence without choking on it. She said it made me gentler. "Weaker men are easier to love," she once whispered, brushing hair from my forehead while I struggled to pronounce her name. Now I was replaying that voicemail. South entrance first. The security rotation changed every quarter. Only 3 people had access. I was one of them. My wife was not. I didn't confront her. I pressed record, and I started stuttering on purpose. She hated who I was before the attack. Confident, direct, uncompromising in court. I prosecuted financial predators, men who hollowed families from the inside out. I didn't bend. She said I was intimidating. After the assault, I became something else. Slower, softer, dependent. She liked that version. She started finishing my sentences, correcting me in public, speaking for me in meetings. "I'll explain," she'd say gently, as if I were fragile glass. At night, she took calls on the balcony, whispered. When I asked who it was, she smiled. "Insurance. Legal things. You shouldn't stress. I noticed small changes." Her phone always face down, her laptop locked. And then there was the man in the cafe. I saw them once, through the reflection of a window. He leaned close. Too close. She touched his wrist. Not romantic. Complicit. That's when the suspicion hardened. It wasn't an affair born from passion. It was an alliance. The voicemail confirmed it wasn't my paranoia. It was strategy. I replayed the attack in my head. The timing, the blind spots, the malfunctioning elevator. Every vulnerability had been exposed with surgical precision. Someone had fed him the map. And someone had fed him me. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse. I let her believe I was still damaged. Every stutter became camouflage. "I'm glad you're here," I'd murmur, watching her expression soften. While she slept, I cloned her phone. I recorded the balcony calls with a directional microphone, hidden inside a potted plant. I hired a private forensic analyst under a shell consultation tied to one of my cases. Patience is a weapon. The cafe man wasn't random. He had a sealed juvenile record, assault expunged, recently employed by a private security consultancy, paid in cash deposits that mirrored withdrawals from a joint account I didn't know existed, her account. I pulled courthouse server logs. 2 days before the attack, an administrative override accessed the camera rotation schedule. The login credentials belonged to a retired staff member. The IP address traced back to our home. I said nothing. I let Thanksgiving approach. Then the call came from my daughter-in-law. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes," she shouted, laughter crackling behind her. They had started treating me like furniture. Harmless, useless. I replied with one word. "Enjoy." 2 weeks later, I boarded a flight alone. Zurich is quiet in winter. The villa overlooks a lake that looks like polished steel. I purchased it through a trust long before the attack. A contingency plan in case life demanded disappearance. I sent no announcement. Only photos. Sunlight across marble floors. Glass walls. Still water. My phone rang 71 times that night. From her. From my son. From numbers I didn't recognize. I let them ring. Meanwhile, the FBI had everything. Financial transfers. Audio recordings. IP logs. A pattern of coercive intent. Because the cafe man had spoken too freely once. On tape. She said she needed him weaker. More manageable. Her voice in the background. Agreement. The trial wasn't for me. It was for him. Assault with intent to kill a federal officer. She sat behind him in the gallery. Pale. Controlled. Confident no one knew. I took the stand. My stutter was gone. The courtroom shifted when I spoke in full, clean sentences. I watched her spine straighten. Then stiffen. The prosecutor introduced supplemental evidence. Unauthorized access logs. Financial transfers. Audio files. Her whisper filled the room. "South entrance first. She didn't look at me. Not until the cafe recording played. She'll soften him, the attacker said. And if he doesn't? Someone asked. A pause. Then her voice. He will. Silence in the courtroom feels heavier than shouting. The FBI agent approached her quietly. She tried to smile. It trembled. You're under arrest for conspiracy. That was the first time she looked directly at me, not pleading. Not angry, confused. As if I had broken a rule, she called from holding. Why didn't you tell me you knew? She asked. Her voice cracked now. I let the silence stretch. I wanted to see how far you'd go. You were different, she whispered. After the attack, You thought I'd be easier. A breath on the line. I was protecting us. No, I said calmly. You were reshaping me. There's a difference. I told her about the recordings. The cloned phone. The trust in Switzerland. You sent the photos to humiliate me, she said. No, I replied. I sent them so you'd understand something. What? You miscalculated. She started to cry. I felt nothing. The charges expanded. Wire fraud, conspiracy, attempted murder. The attacker took a plea. She didn't. Pride is predictable. Snow falls differently in Switzerland. Quiet, precise. I walk the perimeter of the lake each morning. No stutter. No hesitation. People assume betrayal is loud. It isn't. It's administrative. Passwords shared. Codes transferred. Tiny permissions granted in the dark. She wanted a weaker man. She got a patient one. My phone doesn't ring anymore. The villa is silent except for my footsteps. I don't hate her. Hate requires attachment. I simply removed myself from her design. Some men survive attacks. Others survive marriages. I survived both, and I never stuttered again.